There's a reason no one lives on Mars, and it's not simply because the planet is cold or because there's no breathable air. The reality is far more mysterious and far more dangerous than most people realize. Imagine planet-wide storms that can rise without warning, soil laced with poison, and a silent sky that seems to watch your every move. Despite all of this, NASA insists that humans will set foot on Mars by 2050. But what if Mars isn't just uninhabitable? What if it's actively fighting back against us? This is the red planet's greatest mystery. Mars has captured the human imagination for centuries. It's a world painted in blood-red dust, orbiting silently in the cold darkness beyond Earth. It's close enough to tempt us, yet deadly enough to remind us that we don't belong there. But now, more than ever, space agencies around the globe are racing to make Mars our second home. In this journey, we'll uncover the terrifying reality of what truly awaits us. From colossal dust storms that can suffocate machines to toxic soil that could poison the crops we desperately need, to an atmosphere that offers no protection, only silence. And yet, Mars might hold the key to humanity's future or its ultimate downfall. Mars is often called Earth's sister planet because it's close by, rocky, and about half the size of our own world. But don't let that familiarity fool you. Mars is no friend. A single day there is only about 40 minutes longer than one on Earth, and seasons come and go much like they do here, thanks to a similar tilt of its axis. Even the landscape can look eerily familiar in some photographs: valleys, ice caps, and mountains taller than Everest. But beneath that surface lies a silent menace. The Martian year is nearly twice as long as Earth's, lasting about 687 days. This means winters are longer, freezes are deeper, and cycles of change move at a much slower pace. The weather is not just cold, it is wildly unpredictable and unforgiving. At the poles, temperatures drop so low that the atmosphere itself actually turns to ice. Yes, you heard that right. On Mars, the air can freeze. Despite this, patterns emerge. There is an eerie beauty in the chaos: spiral formations in the polar ice caps and dust devils dancing endlessly across vast plains. It is a world stuck between stillness and violence. Mars feels like the ghost of what a living planet might look like after life has vanished. It's familiar, yet something feels off, like a reflection in a cracked mirror. From a distance, Mars looks quiet, still, and lifeless. But that calm is a lie. Every few years, something ancient awakens on the red planet, a force so massive and overwhelming that it can swallow entire continents or even the entire planet itself. These aren't just storms that gather in forgotten corners. They are massive electrostatic storms composed of razor-fine dust particles, billions of them, so light that Mars' thin air can keep them suspended for weeks at a time. What starts as a small gust or a tiny whirl quickly grows into a towering dust devil spinning into the sky. One follows another until the entire surface is lost beneath a rising wall of dust. In 2018, a global dust storm struck Mars with such ferocity it choked the skies for months and ultimately killed one of NASA's most beloved rovers, Opportunity. The sun disappeared, power ran out, and just like that, silence took over. These aren't just storms, they are planet-sized blackouts. They don't just threaten machines, they threaten our future settlements. When the sky turns blood red and light disappears, survival becomes a race against time. The worst part? We still don't understand exactly why these storms happen or how to stop them. Now try to imagine taking a deep breath on Mars. You can't because the atmosphere is 100 times thinner than Earth's. It's almost entirely made of carbon dioxide. No oxygen. No pressure. No mercy. If you stepped outside without a spacesuit, your blood would start to boil, not because of heat but because of the lack of pressure. The air is so thin that it literally can't hold you together. Then there's gravity. On Mars, gravity is only 38% of what we feel here on Earth. It sounds like fun. Jump higher, lift heavier, but over time your body would begin to break down. Muscles would shrink, bones would lose density, and fluids would drift upwards, pressing against your brain and distorting your vision. We've already seen some of these effects on astronauts aboard the International Space Station, where months in microgravity cause lasting damage. Now imagine living in this environment not for months but for years. No breathable air, no protective atmosphere, no gravity as we know it. Mars isn't just a new world, it's a whole new set of rules. And we still don't know how well the human body can adapt to them. If humans ever want to stay on Mars, they will need more than oxygen. They will need food that's grown there, not flown in from Earth. But there's a big problem. Martian soil, also called regolith, is not just lifeless, it's toxic. It is laced with perchlorates, a type of salt that can disrupt the thyroid and poison the blood. This soil was never meant to support life as we know it. And yet it might. In 2016, scientists grew tomatoes, quinoa, peas, and radishes in soil similar to that on Mars. The results were promising. They grew. Not perfectly, but they grew. The secret was enriching the soil with organic matter such as compost and even processed human waste. They also had to wash out the toxins using bacteria that consume perchlorates and release oxygen as a byproduct. It's not farming as we know it, it's survival gardening on a planet that wants nothing to do with life. But what if we could master this? We wouldn't just feed the colony, we would prove something much bigger, that even in the most hostile places life finds a way. Before the first human sets foot on Mars, machines will walk there for us. Not just rovers or cameras on wheels, but scouts, explorers, survivors. In 2021, a small drone named Ingenuity made history by achieving the first powered flight on another planet, hovering in air thinner than Earth's stratosphere. It was fragile, light, and nearly impossible, and yet it flew. Now engineers are pushing further. Boston Dynamics' robotic dog, Spot, has been reprogrammed for Mars. It can walk, climb, map caves, and decide on its own how to navigate a world with no roads, no light, and no help. Why legs instead of wheels? Because Mars is full of traps. Dust pits, jagged rocks, steep craters. Spirit and Opportunity, two of NASA's legendary rovers, were both nearly lost to soft terrain. But machines like Spot don't get stuck. They adapt. These robots aren't just tools. They are the first settlers, brave, autonomous, untouched by fear or fatigue. They'll build, map, test, and maybe pave the way for us to follow. Imagine this: something goes wrong. A fire, a system failure, an accident. You reach for help and all you get is silence. On Mars, you're not just far from home, you're completely disconnected. Every message to Earth takes between 3 and 22 minutes to arrive, and the answer takes just as long. There are no real-time calls, no emergency services, no quick decisions. Just you. And the silence. Every astronaut will have to be a mechanic, a doctor, and a firefighter. Self-reliance isn't optional, it's mandatory. Failure is not an option because on Mars, help is minutes or hours away, too far to rely on in emergencies. And yet, despite every danger and challenge stacked against us, the dream of Mars endures. It offers something Earth no longer can: a new beginning, a second chance. It holds the possibility of expanding humanity beyond our fragile cradle and maybe even unlocking secrets of our own origins. The red planet is both a challenge and a warning. It waits silently with its swirling dust and frozen air, daring us to come and prove that life can survive anywhere. But if Mars is fighting back, will we survive its wrath, or will it be the end of our interplanetary ambitions? This is only the beginning. The story of Mars is one of hope shadowed by danger, curiosity tangled with survival. As we prepare to cross that vast gulf of space, we must ask ourselves, how far are we willing to go to call another world home? Every astronaut who steps onto Mars won't just be an explorer. They'll need to be a technician, a psychologist, a mechanic, and a doctor, all rolled into one because no one is coming to the rescue. Even our rovers, the most advanced machines we've sent, operate on delay. Every command sent from Earth is like a message in a bottle tossed into the vast void of space, hoping it lands where it's supposed to. The time it takes for instructions to travel, between 3 and 22 minutes depending on the planet's positions, means immediate help or guidance is impossible. There are no instant calls, no emergency response teams, no quick fixes. If humans want to survive on Mars, they'll need more than cutting-edge technology. They'll need unshakable independence, the ability to stay calm under pressure, and the mental strength to face the crushing abyss of isolation and silence alone. They'll have to rely on themselves, trusting their training, their instincts, and their fellow astronauts, because in that vast emptiness, help is just a dream. If we do make it to Mars, where will we build the first home? Not every place on the planet is equally deadly. Some regions whisper possibilities, offering hope amid an otherwise hostile world. Take the Coral Crater, a vast 81-kilometer-wide basin filled with frozen water, a potential reservoir for future colonists. This water could be the lifeblood of the settlement, used for drinking, farming, and even fuel production. Or consider the polar ice caps, where thick layers of ice could be melted down to provide drinking water, irrigation for crops, and resources for producing breathable oxygen. But the real treasures may lie beneath the surface. Lava tubes, ancient tunnels carved by flowing magma long ago, form perfect natural shelters. These subterranean caves are protected from the harsh radiation that batters the surface, shielded from meteorite impacts, and insulated against the freezing cold that can drop to -195 degrees Fahrenheit. They might become the first Martian neighborhoods, the underground havens that allow humanity to take root in this alien world. Then there's the permafrost, hidden ice locked in the soil across equatorial regions. It's harder to reach than the polar ice but lies closer to the sun, making it ideal for solar energy generation, one of the most promising power sources on Mars. Every option for settlement comes with a trade-off. More sunlight means less water. More protection means more isolation. There is no perfect spot on Mars, only the one that kills you slowest. The stark reality is that finding the right place to settle could be the difference between survival and extinction. Landing on Mars might be a monumental achievement, but staying alive there is an entirely different challenge that tests the limits of human endurance. The surface itself is a minefield. Frozen nights can last for months, radiation streams down without mercy, storms can erase the sky, blotting out the sun for weeks on end, plunging the planet into an eerie twilight that suffocates both machines and minds. But scattered across the planet, pockets of promise emerge. At the poles, vast caps of frozen water, solid, ancient, and pure enough, could sustain a small colony or grow into something larger. Elsewhere, hidden beneath layers of dust and soil, veins of permafrost wait, ice trapped in time. And in craters like Koralv, entire lakes of ice sleep beneath the dust. Yet the most intriguing refuge may be underground. Mars is carved with colossal lava tubes, natural tunnels formed by ancient volcanic flows. They are dark, cold, isolated, but within their depths lies safety, protection from deadly radiation, from the brutal cold, and from the chaos raging above. It's poetic in a way. Humanity, trying to begin a new chapter, might find its future by going back underground, into the veins of the planet, into the unknown. On Mars, survival may not come from conquering the land but from hiding from it. We won't bring pre-made houses to Mars. The cost is simply too great, the distance too vast, and the environment too harsh. Instead, we'll have to build them there from scratch. But how do you build a home on a world that actively wants you dead? How do you construct shelter from dust storms that can cover entire continents, from radiation that fries electronics and cells alike, from temperatures so cold they freeze air itself? Engineers have a bold answer: use Mars itself. Its dust, its rock, its ice. With advanced 3D printing technology, autonomous robots could layer Martian soil, regolith, into thick, curved walls strong enough to hold pressure and thick enough to block harmful radiation. Imagine machines that work tirelessly day and night, molding and shaping the raw materials beneath their robotic fingers, building thick domes and walls from the very dust that batters the planet. Some designs even propose using ice as a building material or integrating fungi to create living architecture that grows and repairs itself. These self-healing, bioengineered materials could be the key to habitats that endure the relentless Martian environment. The first habitats won't be spacious or comfortable. They will look more like bunkers than homes, buried under meters of dust for protection. Airtight, pressurized, and self-contained, these habitats will be the fragile first shelters in a hostile world where every crack in the seal could mean disaster. Before a single human ever sets foot on Mars, autonomous robots will work alone for months, maybe years, preparing everything. Like silent caretakers, they'll build the future, a future they will never live to see. This won't be a colony of comfort. It will be a stronghold, a fortress carved from alien Earth. Our first fragile step into the great unknown. And then, finally, you make it. You're on Mars. The ship is behind you, the planet all around. But the real challenge has just begun. Your days become strict, scheduled, repetitive. You wake up in a cramped habitat, surrounded by the same faces, stuck in the same routines, breathing the same recycled air. Outside, you are trapped inside a bulky suit that feels more like a prison than protection. You don't feel the wind. You don't smell the dust. Every step is monitored. Every breath is filtered. The suit is the difference between life and death. To keep your body from collapsing, you exercise every day, 2 hours, no exceptions. Without gravity, your muscles will wither, your bones weaken, and your heart struggles to keep pace. Over time, your body begins to break down in ways that scientists are still trying to understand, but it's clear the human body was designed for Earth's embrace, not Mars' harsh grip. But it's not just the body under attack. Isolation, confinement, and silence dig deep into the mind. Days blur together. Nights stretch endlessly. There is no sky full of birds, no trees, no rain, just rock, just red dust, just silence. The monotony becomes crushing, wearing down even the strongest spirits. The loneliness is amplified by the sheer distance. Millions of miles from home, with no hope for an immediate visit or quick conversation. Every astronaut will have to battle the invisible enemy of mental strain, relying on resilience, mindfulness, and camaraderie to keep despair at bay. And worst of all, you can't simply leave. There is no ride home, no fresh air waiting on the other side of a door. This is the cost of being a pioneer, to push the frontier forward while wondering if the frontier is pushing back harder. For now, Mars is silent, empty, and watching. But somewhere in that silence, a question echoes through time. What if we make it? What if, despite the storms, the cold, the distance, and the darkness, we plant a flag not just in the ground but in history? What if we stand on that alien soil and watch Earth rise in the sky like a distant memory? What if the first step on Mars isn't just a leap for science, but the beginning of a new story for humanity? For our entire existence, we have lived under one sky. But maybe, just maybe, we were never meant to stay there. If we do make it, if we survive, adapt, and endure, then Mars won't just be the red planet. It will be the next home. And maybe it will mark the first line in the next chapter of what it means to be human. This is more than a mission. It's a redefinition of our place in the universe. The journey to Mars is not just a technological challenge or a scientific endeavor. It is a test of our spirit, a confrontation with the unknown, and an ultimate act of courage. As we push ourselves to the edge of what's possible, we must face the terrifying truth that Mars might not welcome us. It might fight back, testing every ounce of our resilience. But it also offers something precious: hope. Hope that life can survive anywhere, hope that humanity can thrive beyond Earth's fragile cradle, and hope that by reaching for the stars, we find new meaning in our existence. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Mars and its mysteries, you'll definitely want to check out the video about how you would die on each planet in the solar system. The dangers of space are as diverse as the worlds themselves, and the reality might shock you. Don't miss it.